I'm Sambaz Sarah Jenipher from Uganda. I'm a coffee farmer on the slopes of Mount Elgon, 2,400 meters above sea level. I grow Arabic coffee, which is very nice and delicious. I've been a farmer since 1998. My daily activities are very early in the morning at around 5 p.m. I wake up and go to the chicken to prepare some breakfast to have, then I can go for work. Since I have children, I also have to make sure they get some breakfast, or I prepare them and put in flasks so that I can go with those who can manage doing work on the farm, and I leave some for the young ones because I cater also for grandchildren and some 3 orphans. When I go at 5:30, I do my work in the garden up to 9:30 in the morning. When it clocks 9:30, I start looking for animal feeds and food for the family. After that, I carry and take it home. When I reach home, I do house cleaning. I wash my clothes. Meanwhile, I've put my lunch on the stove so that it can be ready to be served at exactly 1 or 1:15. When I finish having lunch with my children, I go back to the garden. Some other gardens for monitoring, especially coffee. You can find when some pests are attacking. You can find when some stems are coming out which are unwanted, so I have to remove those. Then they grow up well. After that, I come back home at like 4 p.m. to 4:30 in the evening. I go and visit my savings group with other female farmers. After doing saving, I come back and go for some water for use for the following day because I don't have water in the house or around the compound. I walk like half a kilometer to get water, which I use. Then when I come back after water, I start preparing dinner to be ready to be served at 8 a.m. at night. Then after serving dinner at 8 a.m., I call all my children. We gather in the house, in the sitting room, we pray. Then at 9, exactly 9, we retire to bed. Why I sell my coffee to Fairtrade is that it's organic. Also, Fairtrade gives us a good price. We attract the specialty market. Fairtrade also gives us premiums to develop the community. It also values women. It encourages women to participate in leadership, to participate in decision making, and to get some many benefits from Fairtrade. Actually, last year was a very tough year because of the pandemic of COVID-19 due to lockdown. Everything got tied up because there was no movement. There was no transport to go somewhere and get some things like sugar, like salt, like medication, because whenever you were moving, you could get permission to go where you are supposed to go. So it was not a very good year. And even pregnant mothers were suffering, moving long distances to where to have the antenatal care. And also they have to get permission before they go there. We have a big loss in the girl child because most of them are not in school. Many of them are pregnant because schools were closed and children were just roaming in the villages. That's a very serious challenge. Many of the girls are now bearing children, yet they are child mothers. they don't have any help. Climate change has affected most of the farmers, especially the weather patterns. We used to experience rain in March to April so that farmers can do their farming well. But sometimes there is much sunshine, which causes pests to affect crops. And sometimes there is much rain with hailstones, and it also affects our crops. And it also affects the crop calendar. Because when rains were coming in March, planting crops were to be planted in March up to early April. But if the rains delay, they come at late April, then you enter in May and plant in May towards the end of May, which is not good for a farmer. If he plants crops in that time, the crops don't do well. And it also affects farmers. If there is much rain, we experience landslide or mudslide, especially last year. We incurred landslide which killed like 2 boys, and also and we experience diseases both in human and crops. We experience diseases which killed poultry and animals like cows and goats. So farmers are affected. And it also causes soil erosion. It washes away topsoil. It takes the soil fertility, which affects the farmer also. But now, as farmers are being trained through Mitige and MIAC, farmers are now coming on board to plant trees so that they prevent soil erosion, they prevent landslide and other challenges which can affect a farmer in growing crops.